Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to continue the restoration on my F30 BMW. So I'm in the middle of restoring the leather right now. I did one coat here and it worked out really nicely. I want to tackle this faded armrest and the faded driver's side armrest now. So I've used a brush and some interior cleaner and a microfiber towel to get rid of any grease on that, and it's ready to take a coat of leather dye. So I bought the following leather dye. That's the code for it. This is BMW Oyster. It's quite a simple kit. It's just a sponge and the dye. There is a good before shot of it. So there's the result after just one coat. It looks pretty even and looks really good. I'm happy with that, so I'll leave it at that. Next I'm going to do right here. Now it's time to tackle this bolster. Like I said, I use an interior cleaner, scrub brush, and a microfiber towel to make that clean. As you can see, it doesn't take much to make that look a whole lot better. Once the shine goes away after it dries, we can see if a second coat is required. But I'm a really big fan of leather dye to rejuvenate leather. It really makes a difference. This is the next order of business, fixing this melted screen. All right, so I'm gonna pull the screen out. To get that out, we have to remove this trim piece here. You just pull with your hands. Taking care over here. There'll be a couple connectors on the inside. Pull this forward like the E90. I unconnected that. I'm using a T20 to go after two screws down here. I'll pull the screen straight up. It was a little tricky to get to this connector, but you just basically depress it like that and pull back. So in an effort to do this on a bit of a budget, I bought a screen that was smashed or cracked to replace my screen that is melted. The hopes is this front piece is fine, it's just the LCD in the back that's melted, and the hopes are that the LCD is good on this. So I'll take apart the new one first. It's just a small Phillips screwdriver. So one thing's apparent, this is glued in, so I'm gonna get my heat gun and run around it with heat. So as you said, I didn't have good luck with removing the screen. If I had taken more care and didn't worry about damaging the old bezel, I probably could have cut it out super slowly and carefully. But I just bought a replacement glass for like $40 something off AliExpress, so I'll wait for that to come. For now, I'll put this back in the car as is. So for now, I have a clear screen again, but I need to get that glass. Another eyesore in the interior is the start-stop button, so I'm going to try to remove that now. That's the new start-stop button there. Glossy compared to the factory one. The kit came with some sticky rubber. Easy enough. Align the new start-stop button. Big improvement right there, and it was very easy to do. All right, I was actually able to source a replacement screen for relatively cheap, so I'm gonna run this and then I'll repair the other screen and put it on eBay to offset the cost. As you can see, it's working well. If you guys are curious, in terms of check control messages, believe it or not, we only have a fog light malfunction. In terms of services, everything else is checking out except for the brake fluid, which is due based on age and time it sat. So the mileage for the next oil change is 141. The car's sitting at 136. So at least from what I've seen under the oil cap, the car was maintained mechanically in terms of regular oil changes and whatnot. It looked pretty clean in there. So the car's really starting to come together, looking clean. There is the bolster. I'll have to shampoo around it to make it look even, but it looks a lot better. Now that that screen has been replaced, one of the only eyesores remaining is the steering wheel. And I did receive my replacement steering wheel, so let's go ahead and tackle that now. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect the battery and I'll come back to the wheel. Got the airbag removed. Going to hold the steering wheel with my knees and use a 16 mil to release the nut that holds it. So the volume control is completely sticky and melted away on the old wheel. So I want to take the switch gear and move it over from the donor wheel to this trim. The silver trim and the actual surround is in better shape than the wheel that I received, but the buttons are not. So I have to kind of harvest parts as I need them. This is a T20. These are T8s. Alright, there's the replacement wheel. Looking really good. Really freshened up the interior. So besides the really bad looking tinted window, the rubber on the third brake light has started to deteriorate. It's falling apart. So I'm going to pull this piece off and swap it out. That's how it looks proper. And here's how the one on the car looked. This is one of the trade-offs you get with Southern cars. They don't rust, but you have rubber and interior pieces that will degrade with heat and time a little bit sooner. But I guess it's a lot easier to deal with this than rust. I did get a replacement fog light switch, but it actually turned out to be damaged and they're sending me a replacement. But it's very easy to remove the switch. You basically just put a plastic trim tool and it pops right out. So I am getting a little nitpicky trying to make this car really clean, but we have that coming still. Good news, my door pulls arrived, so I'll be able to include that in this video. I had to go OEM on these because it's a rare color, oyster. They don't really make aftermarket options that I could find. So I'm going to go ahead and take the door panel off and replace these right now. Procedure appears to be pretty similar to the E90. Should be a couple T20s in here. Not sure if you can make that out, but this cam lock electrical connector for the window switch, I was able to get it out without popping out that window switch. Not a surprising find to see these clips busted. I always keep a set of those on hand. It'll appear that I'd have to remove that window switch anyway. There's a window switch removed. I pressed on this and pushed it from here, and then it came out from the other end. You have to use these holes to do that. Now I can see where I need to drill to get the handle out. So some of the aftermarket options are going to allow for you to screw into here, but like I said, it's the color that's the issue here. I have the oyster color, so I had to go OEM. You're supposed to melt these. I'm going to do the same thing I did on my E90 where I put some 5-minute JB weld around here to set and hold. It's been holding perfectly for getting on, what, 6 years now. So I'll let that go off and then I'll come back and get the other door panel off. So I think all manufacturers have moved away from this style of rubberized coating, the stuff that would make buttons sticky and unpleasant to the touch. For instance, on my G80, you would grab here and this area where you get your skin oil on it, it's uncoated plastic. I removed the coating on my E90. I made a video about it where the grab handle's similar, but it's all rubberized and it gets gross. I removed it and it felt exactly as this car feels, and even the regular G20 where it's just completely plastic. And they did that for the sake of getting rid of that sticky feeling after time. So just so you know, the new cars are built in such a way to not have that. The airbag cannot get sticky. So the material here is got a leather feel to it, but it's kind of like a hard plastic. It's not rubberized at all, so it's not going to get sticky with time. So you no longer have that rubberized coating on top of these materials now for it to degrade, which is a good welcome change. And in case you guys are wondering, once I replace those floor mats, I will have spent around $700 to completely restore the interior. And there you go, completely restored, feeling brand new OEM. Just for satisfaction purposes, really, I wanted to make a theme where we tackle the interior and then do the exterior and then the mechanical. and I wanted to cram it all into one video if possible. So I believe I've taken care of the interior for the most part. Just got to throw those floor mats in. They didn't arrive in time, but otherwise everything besides that little fog light button arrived, and the interior is looking genuinely like 9.5 out of 10. There's nothing sticky. It feels perfect. So it's amazing what a little bit of leather dye can do in terms of giving you a newer feel. So I'd classify this as an exterior issue, but the tint has to go definitely. I need to replace the tint on the back and all the rear windows because it's kind of turned blue. And I'm going to be completely buffing the paint to try to bring back shine. It doesn't look terrible and it's not damaged. It just has a light layer of oxidation all around it. And then I'm going to be partnering with Kies Motorsports to take care of exterior upgrades for the F30. So I'm really excited to announce that I'll be working with Kies Motorsports. I'll put a link in the description if you haven't heard of them, but they are definitely the F30 gurus. They have tons of content on this particular chassis, and they sell cosmetic and mechanical upgrades for this car. It's like a one-stop shop. So be sure to check them out and give them some support since they're supporting us with this build. So I've already ordered a set of headlight lenses to cut these out and replace them with. Plan is to go with double slat black kidney grills and a full M Sport conversion up in the front. That rear trunk lid could definitely use a polish, and we're going to go with a lip spoiler and some GTS taillights. Now, what I believe to be the issue on this car in terms of the smoking and the rattling sound you hear when the car gets some heat in it is the turbo. I believe the wastegate is completely worn out, turbo shot, and the drain line that feeds the turbo is probably dumping fluid oil into the turbo and causing it to burn off. It's a common problem from what I've read. You guys tipped me to it in the comments on the first video, so thank you for that. So that's the upgraded turbo line that has a check valve in it to avoid, this is a feed line for oil, to avoid oil going into the turbo when it sits overnight or for long periods of time and causing that smoking on initial startup. There's a new downpipe clamp, an OEM grade oil filter. It's funny, the one that was on there, people commented that it looks like a Mercedes one, which is really weird, but I guess it's compatible. That's the clamp for the exhaust. So we have the full turbo install kit, and let me show you the turbo. So I owe a huge shout out to a viewer that commented on the first video stating they had a 40k mile turbo that they're willing to donate toward the build that's in perfect condition. So huge shout out to Keegan Curry. He was cool with me saying his name and he donated this turbo. I'm gonna put a link in the description to his Instagram. Give him a follow to show some support since he supported this car and this build. So this is what I believe the issue to be. I believe that there's a ton of rattle sound coming from this because it's completely worn, making a knocking, rattling sound that's inconsistent. That's hopefully what's going to fix the issue, and then the turbo feed line should fix the smoking issue. If you're familiar with these turbos, you know that this is an electronic wastegate, and my car has a pneumatic wastegate since it's an early car, but I believe we should be able to pop this clip out and move over the whole mechanism with 2 screws to convert it back to a pneumatic, and then we can set the wastegate tension and whatnot. And adjust it accordingly since this one's electronic. It seems to be the same turbo otherwise besides this mechanism and the way it bolts to the turbo. It's modular in that respect. We're going to be replacing this in the next video and tackling the mechanical stuff, and then we'll do the cosmetics exterior wise after that. Hopefully you guys are excited for more F30 content, and I do have some E90 content coming up as well. You may see that in between this build series. My G80 is a little bit dirty right now, but if you have any suggestions with regards to what you'd like to see on the G80, please let me know. That's going to conclude this video. If this is the first video you're catching on mine, please consider subscribing. If you liked the video, please give it a like to help me rank a little bit higher. Thanks for watching.